Muddy situation that is Syria and Russia. It wasn't just Russia, it was also China too that shot down a UN resolution. What are they doing now?
Right, well, Russia and China both vetoed a resolution Saturday that would have had Assad step out of power in Syria. What Russia's doing now, it's visiting Assad in Damascus and undertaking some diplomacy. It hasn't been very clear about what it's asked for. Apparently, they're looking for a change to the constitution that they would put to a referendum in Syria. And Russia says, we have been heard by Assad. But the problem with all of this is the opposition in Syria has already moved well beyond that and wants Assad out. So whatever Russia's doing now isn't looking very likely to solve anything.
A change to the constitution, it sounds pretty ridiculous in this case, because what actually needs to happen is a stopping to the killing.
Right.
Right? Yeah. So, is that something that Russia's pushing for?
They did not say that that's one of the things that they're pushing, and Syria continues to pound the city of Homs, where there's been uprising for months. This has been for the fourth straight day some of the bloodiest crackdowns of the Syrian uprising. It's already killed 6,000, 7,000 people. The UN has lost count. And this killing is continuing while Russia is in Damascus. And
talking about changes to the constitution.
Right. And Damascus, we should add, is one of Moscow's arms clients. And so presumably some of the weapons that are being used to put this uprising down in Homs come from Russia as well. It's quite a message.
David, well, what do you make of this? This seems crazy to me.
Well, I think what Russia is trying to do is preserve a client, an ally in the region, and pressuring the Assad government to say, in so many words, and this is just a speculation on my part, but do what you have to do to preserve power, but enough with this violence, enough with turning the world. We look bad, but we stood up for you, and coming there and just saying to the Syrian government, you need to get this under control, and this has got to stop, because it's putting our name at risk. It's putting our relationship at risk. It's putting.
And Syria realizes it doesn't have very many friends left.
Very many. Probably close to none, or maybe just one. There's a great quote here in the story by Greg White on WSJ.com. Now it says, and it's from Konstantin Kosachev saying that regime hardly has any kind of serious future. That's pretty damning. That's what your friends are saying about you.
Right. He's a lawmaker within Vladimir Putin's United Russia Party. So that's. The Russians appear to be divided on this as well. Even as they're going and trying to keep Assad in power, there are others who are saying that it's time for him to go. And it's very tricky for Russia because it doesn't do them any good to double down on a doomed leader, because they want to retain arms contracts and other deals. They have a port there that they would desperately like to keep. So they have to be sure that they have some other lines in the water as well.
I'm sure they're thinking that, and the rest of the world is thinking, and probably like I am, look at the similarities between this and Libya. A dictator gone amok, killing his own people, in the case of the late Colonel Gaddafi, and this guy running amok. But the difference here is that there was a NATO-led effort to try and put down Gaddafi, and there is no NATO involvement in Syria. Why not, do you think?
Well, I think our interest in Libya was much greater than it is in Syria. Our relationship with Syria is not as key as Libya was, and I think that this not only goes for the U.S. but for most of the Western allies who belong to NATO. So really, the resolution at the UN level was really about the biggest or the biggest step that these countries, including the U.S., are going to take. Would you agree, Jeff?
Yeah, I think that's true. Also, Russia and China signed on to a UN resolution that made way for international air cover in Libya, that they now say made way for regime change. And neither Russia's Putin nor China are interested in supporting regime change right now, especially Putin, who's not so popular at home.